Yo, what's going on, guys? Here today watching Sen versus Loud, America's VCT. Banger match. Or actually, I don't know anything about the match, but banger teams, bit of a clout match. Both teams have a lot of fans here, and pretty sure the team that loses this actually doesn't make playoffs, which means they can't go to the next Masters event, which I believe is in Shanghai. I'm pretty sure. Masters Shanghai, pretty sure, China. But yeah, Loud already have won the pistol, but what I'm trying to say is that this match is a pretty big deal, right? Because both these teams are honestly international caliber teams, right? Both teams would, in theory, be expected to go to the next Masters, because, I mean, obviously Sentinels won the first Masters of this year, and Loud have won Champions before, they've won Masters as well, I believe. Both just World Championship caliber teams, so it's really unfortunate that only one of these teams, I believe, from what I've heard, because, the brackets, because Riot does this thing, they change the format like every year. It can get pretty confusing to figure out, how the point system works, how whatever bracket system they're using is going on, and I'm not quite too sure myself, but what I do know from what I've heard is that basically if Sen loses, they have to get very lucky, but I'm pretty sure they pretty much can't make it. And same thing with Loud, right? Because I think Loud either haven't won a series or they've only won one series, pretty sure. Something like that. But, yeah, Loud already starting off strong here. They did win Pistol. Yeah, off to a really fast start. We are watching a highlights version of this series, so things are going to be moving at pretty faster than normal. Obviously not going to be like 2 hours, because I mean, let's be honest, if we watch the entire thing at full pace, which I do sometimes, there's time in between halves, there's time in between games, and there's a lot of games in just this region alone, and there's 4 different regions, and not everyone always has the time for that, so I figured, hey, why not just be the middleman, watch some of the highlights here, get caught up with the competitive scene, at least for Americas, and see what's going on. I mean, the last VOD we watched was actually for APAC. Watched Paper X play versus that other team. As, yeah, Loud are looking pretty good. Looking at team comps, I expect double controller. I do see double controller. Raise on both teams, yup. Sentinel, ooh, Loud opting for Deadlock instead of Killjoy here, very interesting. And both teams have Phase, so the only difference is the Sentinel role. Sadok seems to be looking pretty good, pretty comfortable on the Deadlock here. Ooh, Satchel up, catching John Cutie off guard. Now, chat. There's been a lot going on in the esports world, a lot. There's a lot to talk about, not just Valorant. There has been some Valorant drama recently. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about it, but some voice comms got leaked from Scrims involving the one and only Ye and another player named Gangsta. I think that's how you say it. And yeah, just some leak comms. There's also some other stuff going on, more layoffs in the esports kind of world. Specifically with FaZe this time. FaZe has always had a lot of members, but I'm pretty sure they laid everyone off except for like 10 people or something crazy like that. Just, yeah, a lot of chaos going on right now in esports world, gaming world. A lot of drama, a lot of people doing some questionable things, decisions. Nothing really like bad, like illegal or anything. Just like drama and just kind of high school drama type thing, stuff, banter. I mean, some of it is pretty serious, but like nothing morally bad or like, illegal, like I said. At least I'm pretty sure. But I do want to talk about the game a little bit. So we are starting on Lotus here, and the next map will be Icebox. And Decider's Ascent. I'm wondering how the map bans went, because the issue with these highlights is they don't show bans, so I'm wondering if, Sunset was banned, because I believe that is one of Sentinel's best maps. Same thing with Split. If I had to guess, Loud probably banned Split and then maybe Sunset. But this is Sentinel's map pick, and they're not doing too great so far. And I do know the outcome of this match. I won't spoil it for you guys until the end of this, but I mean, it's like one team has to go home or stay home, I guess, right, guys? So it's like pretty unfortunate. Both teams have a lot of fans. It's going to be unfortunate for whichever team loses, but that's just the nature of competition, right? It is what it is. And yeah, so for those of you guys who don't know about the drama behind the leaked comms with EA, pretty much what happened was, from what I've seen, and I've watched a few clips from Terror Extreme Psalm, you know, all the Valorant influencers, and from what it looks like, pretty sure Ye had some beef, or he didn't really like playing, because, you know, sometimes you have a teammate on your team and you don't really like playing with them. So Ye didn't seem to enjoy playing with Gangsta very much. Maybe he didn't like the way he played, maybe he thought he wasn't a good player, maybe he just didn't like his personality. Either way, it said that Ye bribed the coach while he was on DSG. So this happened actually 2023, right? Last year when he was on Disguised Toast team in the Ascension League, I believe tier 2 team, tier 2, tier 3 team, somewhere around there. Either way, it was for Ascension, right? And he was playing for Disguised Toast team. Wow, that is a very unfortunate half. 2-10. Wow. But yeah, he asked the coach of Disguise to basically replace Gangsta with somebody else, right? And he bribed him for $10,000. And he also said some like pretty nasty things about him, about Gangsta. Ye did. And I'm not really sure what Gangsta's goal was, to be honest. Maybe he was just salty. Because I mean, Ye he's not like doing amazing, right? So it's not it couldn't be out of jealousy, because Ye is definitely you know, fighting his fight, maybe even struggling a little, some might say, in the APAC region. But I'm pretty sure Gangsta is retired pro, and you guys might be wondering, hang on, is Sen gonna win this? Okay, thank God they actually win the pistol. Alright, a little bit of hope for them this map. But you guys may be thinking, what did the general public think of this? And honestly, the consensus is, wow, nice 3k by Zekin. This is Loud's buy round, actually, so they're not just eco kills. Seemed, you know, I'm not gonna lie, chat. I think Sentinels are very good at aggressive plays, and I think they're ahead of most teams when it comes to aggressive plays on defense. I feel like whenever I see Loud go for aggression, it usually doesn't work out, at least against Sentinels, or even though they're winning this map. But what I want to say is, honestly, most people are pretty upset with Gangsta, with the whole situation. Because the thing is, it doesn't really matter if you leak like conversations, like dirts, no matter what it is, right? Honestly, it doesn't matter what it is, right? At the end of the day, all that matters is that it's, and I think the pros probably say it better than I do, but in their words, it's like kind of an unspoken rule in the competitive, you know, in the esports industry, is you don't talk about things going on behind the scenes that the team is going through, right? You don't leak things from your own team, from scrims and all that, whether it's gameplay, conversations. It's just like a general rule, right? It's seen as very dishonorable and just like very scummy and ratty, whatever you want to call it. Just like a lot of people don't really care about what Ye did or said, because that's not what's important here. What's important is that like Gangsta's basically doing this very ratty kind of thing by just leaking conversation without any context, right? Regardless of what Ye said too, it's a small clip taken completely out of context, and yeah, it's not really a very nice thing to do, obviously. So most people, they aren't defending Ye, but they aren't really mad at him either, because I think most people in esports orgs said this too. It's like every team has dirt, right? Every team has dirt, bad laundry, whatever you want to call it, and it's like you don't talk about it to the general public. Like you don't really share those things, because everyone has, you know, nobody's perfect. Everyone has their things, and it's just like there's no reason to do it unless you're purposely trying to sabotage someone. And I don't mean to bring myself into this conversation, but this has definitely happened. Like, I personally have had experiences like this before, actually pretty recently, when it comes to bad laundry and just people taking things you say out of context and just like basically trying to sabotage you or paint you in a certain way. And it's definitely like one of the lowest lows you can go to, right? and it's definitely something that you don't do unless you have a certain intention or you're preying on someone's downfall. And the thing is, nobody's perfect. People need, like, there's always context to situations. We don't know what the context of this situation is, and we don't know the emotional state of the players, if they had something going on in their real life, if they, you know, what their mental state was, what they were thinking, what they were going through, anything about their life. It's just like, you don't know enough, you know. And honestly, it makes me happy that, like, people aren't upset at EA, because I think that it makes me happy that people are smart enough not to just jump on bandwagons, because I could think of a couple communities where as soon as people see one thing, it's like, boom, instantly cancelled, smashed community. So it makes me happy that a community like the Valorant community is mature enough that they see these leaks, they see what Ye says, and although it may not be the greatest things, regardless of whether or not he really did bribe the coach, it's like, they realize that what Gangsta did was, like, not right and morally wrong, and the full context isn't given, and they actually defend him, right? A lot of Ye's former teammates actually came out, including, like, you know, Finesse, even people who aren't his teammates, as, oh wow, Loud do win this. Second dude does pretty well. Real quick, just want to get a check at that KDA to see what's going on. Everyone on Sentinel is doing pretty evenly. Colin Zine doing pretty well. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing really notable. Sadhawk, 5-13. I mean, that's fine. I always say this. I don't expect an IGL to top frag every game. IGLing, especially in a very intense game, calling strats, you know, trying to solve the enemy team, doing all that is, like, not an easy thing. Ooh, I really like this harbor wall. But yeah, everyone was just defending Ye, which made me happy, because I don't want to get too deep into this, because I made this video originally to just talk about this game, but, you know, I can think back to, like, for example, the Smash Community 2020, all these allegations were coming out, and then, like, basically 99% of them were proven false, right? But it didn't matter, because a lot of the players' careers were completely ruined, even though, like, all the allegations were fake and they didn't matter, and, you know, the players took them to court, they legally proved themselves innocent. It's just like, I'm a strong believer in innocent until proven guilty, right? I don't think it should be guilty until proven innocent. I think you should be innocent until proven guilty, and it just makes me happy, because it always scares me, because anyone who used to be part of the Smash community is like, or, you know, involved in those situations where it's just like, people get cancelled from false allegations out of nowhere, and then there's like a 2-year process just to prove your innocence, and then it all ends up being a waste of time. It's just like, it always scares me when people kind of say things and just or like take clips or texts out of context without any information, anything known about the person and what they're going through at that time, or just nothing, right? It's just, it always scares me, and makes me happy that, like, nobody jumped on it at all, like, nobody cared at all what Ye had done or said, like, because, you know, that's the one thing that I like about the Valorant communities. Like, people always, like, kind of dogpile on the Valorant community and call it really bad and toxic, but, you know, there are those moments of immaturity which I think people shouldn't just take for granted. Because, I mean, these content creators, the influencers, if they really wanted to, they could all just jump on someone and just, like, completely cut their career. But, you know, a lot of them made the decision to just stand up for him, you know. Have the maturity to recognize the situation, what's really going on. So it makes me happy. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the A drama. There were FaZe Clan layoffs, but, I mean, that's kind of unrelated, so don't want to talk about that too much, but I don't know. Esports as a whole might be taking a bit of a dip in the next year or two. There was a bit of a cold winter of esports, I want to say last year, but we might still be going through that again. Who knows? Anyways, that's not why this video. It's not what this video is about. So let's just continue watching the match, as we are on Icebox, which I am surprised to see that Sen didn't ban, because I know they won Madrid on Icebox, but I'd say generally speaking, statistically, it's not their best map. As looking at the controller, we have single controller for Sentinels, interestingly enough, double initiator. Yeah. You know, this plays a bit like Pearl B, right? It's like you put Spike down and then it's just like a spam battle. You know, the one thing I don't really like about Icebox is the way the post plan plays is just so chaotic sometimes. It just feels like a battle of spam and luck. I don't know how much I like that. Feels like a lot less strategic than a map like, say, Split or Haven, right? Or even Ascent. As Sen are losing, and guys, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm getting a little, you know, some 2021 Sen vibes. I don't want to say deja vu, but, you know, 2021, Hopium was high, Sen win the first Masters, then they don't even qualify for the second Masters, they get upset at Champs, and yeah, I mean, you guys know the story, right? This was 3 years ago. Now, 2024, same thing again. We win Champs, first Champs, don't qualify for second Champs, and who knows what will happen for Masters. But either way, it's a little bit worrisome. I don't want to say it's a common thing for these NA teams to get very complacent, but I feel like these very big orgs, these players that, you know, I'm not saying it's their fault, but it's like, think about it. You're a player, you're tens, you have a very large following, you have a successful stream, you have thousands of thousands, maybe tens of thousands of subscribers, and you know, you don't even need to play pro if you don't want to. So it's like, what's the reason, what's the motivation there? It's like, maybe you try really hard for a split, get a Masters win, and then it's like, what's the incentive to keep going, you know what I mean? Especially when you have a really big org like Sen on your back. It's like, you know, feel like you've already done amazing things, so why keep on going? Why keep innovating, practicing, thinking of new strats? It can be difficult as a competitor, I think, to find the motivation. Especially when you feel like you've already proven yourself. I think the difference between like 2023 EG and Sen now is EG still had things to prove, right? They hadn't won a Masters before they won Champs, right? It's like, now that I think about it, actually no, never mind. But I was gonna say no Champs team had ever won a Masters that year, but I'm pretty sure Loud won Masters, I think, in 2022. I could be wrong, but I think maybe. Although that might have been FPX. I don't remember. Maybe FPX is 2021. Either way, it's like EG 2023 still had a lot to prove, so they constantly had that kind of underdog mentality and motivation, and then they win Champs, and you know, now like maybe even the EG players are complacent now. They're all kind of chilling in once they split up in their own orgs, but it's kind of hard to stay on top, you know. There's a pro player I know who said this before. He said that it's 100 times easier to get to the top than to stay at the top, because when you're at the top, everyone's gunning for you. Everybody's coming for your throats. They're watching your every move, thinking of every possible way to defeat you, to destroy you, to bring you down, right? And you to stay at the top, you know, it's a lot harder, basically. So I kind of agree with that. I don't really blame Sentinels. I think they won Masters, and now it gets even harder to stay on top, right? Because all these teams are gunning for you. They all want to beat you. It's not an easy thing. This map is looking a lot better though than Lotus, and it makes me think if it was a best out of 5, maybe Sentinels would be looking even better the game after this. Maybe they just had to find their footing, but perhaps they weren't able to find it in time, and unfortunately it just wasn't enough. As, hang on, I believe Sentinels had numbers here. Oh no, they didn't. 3v4. Okay, fair enough. Saucy's on a 1-on-2, or sorry, 1v3. Okay. They are low. Oh, wow. Wow, okay, Saucy. You know what? I've said before, Saucy's usually not the one to clutch, and you know what? My mistake, my bad. Hey, my bad, bro. Good shit, man. Well played by him, well played by Saucy. 7-7 here. Chat, I'm not gonna lie, I had this. Oh my god, I had dinner earlier, chat, and it was this huge. I don't even know if it was a burrito. It was like a wrap slash burrito. It was really big. It was like twice the size of a normal one. Like a normal one is like this big. Well, the one I ate, it was like this big. It was huge. Like it was this massive log, bro. And it tasted so good. I actually wasn't able to finish it, all of it, so I'm having the rest later. But man, it was. I think it had like pork inside, like onions, vegetables, just like a variety of stuff, right? A variety of foods. It was just really amazing. Man, I don't know. I don't want to say, I'm not sure which region it's from because I'm not sure, like I said, if it was a burrito, but I think it was like street vendor type food. And you know, sometimes street vendor food can actually be like really delicious because sometimes like street vendors, sometimes they just use raw, pure, like fresh ingredients. And you know, fresh ingredients in my opinion are always the best, taste the best, healthiest, and they could just make for really amazing food. And I'm just watching, I've been watching this closely, and it does look like, you know, Sen don't look bad. It just seems like the rounds where they lose, they make these little mistakes that kind of add up. Like, they don't look terrible by any means. I think Loud also look better than they usually do. Or maybe they figured out Sen. Maybe they did some research on Sen. Sadok on the up.
See how different things are when Sen still have to get the plant down.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to say. Ooh. Wow, I'm very surprised nobody swung that earlier on Sen. Let's try to pay attention to these last few rounds to see if we can identify anything that maybe Sen did incorrectly or Loud did well. I like the early aggression. To be fair, I think he shouldn't have even gotten to kill Kaunzine. I think other Sentinels members should have just swung earlier. But 3v3 post plant using Viper's Pit. It does cover the spike, okay. Saucy kind of standing in the middle here. Not sure how safe that is. Maybe it's fine though. Let's see. Let's get John Cutie somehow. Wow, he just spammed him. Zealous is kind of sitting in a corner. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like that. Seems like Loud are being a lot more proactive. I don't want to say Sentinels are playing scared, but I do think it's easy to fall into a trap of playing not to lose rather than playing to win. I think there's a very big difference in mentality of playing not to lose versus playing to win. It's like if you're playing not to lose, you're playing scared, you know? You're not really actively seeking things out, you're not being proactive. Whereas if you're playing to win, I think you usually do have that mentality of like hunting, seeking out, looking for opportunities, right? Maybe Sentinels are scared of losing. I don't know. I don't know anything about them, but that's just my personal theory. Perhaps could be. Who knows? So you have the lockdown here for retake for Loud. And you know, this is the classic icebox setup, especially on A. You just get spiked down, then you all just play main. Got Viper lineups. Just stall. Ooh, SQCK does get 2. Wow. You know, I will say, watching these few rounds, it does seem like Sentinels are playing a little bit less coordinated. Also, I saw a post on Twitter. It was some esports journalist, I don't know who, but he said, Sentinels' gunplay has always been subpar, but their teamwork has always been way above average, right? Especially at Masters, I think, like, there were a lot of teams that had miscommunications, kind of blunders, but I think Sentinels beat everyone else in terms of teamwork, but their gunplay is average and maybe even slightly below average, right? Not to say they're bad, but just compared to the best teams in the world. Yeah. Wow, that is tough, guys. That is tough. Loud just win. I guess that's it. That's it. Now, is this it for Sentinels? I don't think so. I think they'll bounce back. Honestly, I think they'll at least make it to Champions. Past that, I don't know. But there you have it, guys. Loud vs Sen. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thanks for coming by. And that's all I gotta say for today. Yeah, see you guys next time. Adios.